Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Green. We're doing another Bible study, 1 Samuel chapter 18. If you'd like me to come speak at your church, or if you have any questions, you can comment below or you can send me an email. 1 Samuel 18, verse 1. And it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking to Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day, and would not let him go no more home to his father's house. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him with his whole soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and his bow, and to his girdle. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and was accepted in the sight of all people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. If you look at 1 Corinthians 10, it says, Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed by the destroyer. Now all these things happened to them for ensamples, that they were written for admonition, unto who the ends of the world are complete. The world have come. Wherefore let him think if he standeth to take heed lest he fall. Sometimes we learn stuff to be example for others, and sometimes we learn stuff to be an example for ourselves. Saul has got David going out and doing these things, and now David gets all the experience from learning what to and not to do. 1 Samuel 18 and verse 6. And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned to the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of the cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul, with tabrets and joy and with instruments of music. The women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. You know, sometimes a woman's praise or cursing can make or break a man. This lady came out and said that Saul killed 1,000, but David killed 10,000. That's going to hurt Saul's feelings. And Saul was very wroth, and saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed unto David 10,000, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. But what could he have more but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day forward. So from that day forward, Saul didn't like David for some reason. He was jealous. David did nothing but was right and godly and brave, and Saul hated him for it. All throughout the Bible it talks about jealousy. Proverbs 6, it says, The jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom. Neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. No matter what you do sometimes, you have this jealousy, and it just eats you away inside. And you want to get rid of it, but it just tears you apart, and nothing can stop it. People get jealous over many things. Beauty, love, attention. They get jealous over many things like money, or maybe even cars. People get jealous over many things like, this guy over here has a bigger church. And it came to pass in the morrow that the evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hands, and at other times there was a javelin in Saul's hand. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. So Saul was so mad at David, he threw a javelin at him. But it said he did it twice. So not only once did he try to kill David, he tried to do it twice. And Saul was afraid of David, because the Lord was with him, and he departed from Saul. Therefore Saul removed him from him, and made him a captain over 1,000, and he went out and came up before the people. Now you think he made him a captain over 1,000 guards because he wanted David to die? And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him. Wherefore when Saul saw that he was behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and came in before them. If you look at 1 Samuel 3, it says that Samuel said to Saul, Thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandments of the Lord thy God, which he commanded thee. And for now the Lord hath established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord has wrought him a man after his own heart. And the Lord had commanded him to be captain over his people, because he has not kept what the Lord commanded him. You see, Saul kept making mistakes, and finally God took the kingdom away from Saul and said, I'm going to give it to somebody else. This somebody else is David. If you look at Acts 13, it talks about this. It says, And afterwards they desired a king, and God gave them Saul the son of Cis, a man of the tribe of Benjamin, for the space of 40 years. And when he had removed him, he raised unto him David to be their king, whom they also gave testimony, and said, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart, which shall fulfill at my will. Back to 1 Samuel 18, verse 17. And Saul said to David, Behold, my elder daughter Merab, her I will give her to my wife. Only thou be vigilant for me, and fight for the Lord's battles. And Saul said, Let mine not hand be upon him, let the hand of the Philistines be upon him. And David said unto Saul, Who am I? And what is my life and my father's family in Israel, that I should be a son-in-law to the king? David saying, I'm just a humble guy who takes care of sheep. I can't be the son-in-law to a king. But it came to pass at the time when Merab Saul's daughter should have been given to David, that she was given to Adriel the Midianite to wife. And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. And so Saul said, I will give you to her, that she may be a snare to him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Wherefore Saul said to David, Thou this day till my son-in-law be one of thy twain. So he said, If I give him Michal, then maybe she's going to cause problems, and he's not going to be a great soldier like he's been. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, Commune with David secretly, and say, Behold, the king has delight in thee, and all his servants love thee. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. He's trying to convince David to be the king's son-in-law, so maybe he would have some pull as to what David should do. John 18 says, Jesus answered him, I speak openly to the world. I ever taught the synagogue and the temple, where the Jews always resort, and in secret I have said nothing. 1 Samuel 18:23. And Saul's servant spoke these words to the ears of David. And David said, Seemeth to you a light thing to be asking a king's son-in-law, seeking that I am a poor man, and lightly esteemed. And the servants of Saul told him, saying, On this manner speak David. David's telling the king, You're a king. I'm a poor man. I can't pay the dowry of all this money to get your daughter. I can't afford that. I'm just a poor man. And then Saul said, This you should say to David, The king desires not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemy. But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. So Saul told David, You don't got to give me a dowry. Just go kill 100 Philistines, give me their foreskins, and that will prove that you love my daughter. But Saul did this because he thought that it would kill David. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law, and the days were not expired. Wherefore David arose and went, he and his men, and he slew of the Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskins and gave them in full tale of the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him Michal, his daughter, to wife. Saul asked David to bring 100 foreskins, and David brought 200. So he meant for David to die, but David killed twice as many, and still lived. And Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him. And Saul was not yet more afraid of David, and Saul became David's enemy continually. And the princes of the Philistines went forth, and it came to pass after they went forth, that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was much set up. If you look at Matthew 5, it says, Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Having a good conscience that, wherefore they speak evil of you as evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Christ. It's basically saying, do the best you possibly can at all times, so people can't say anything bad about you, because when they try to, they're going to look horrible. Galatians 5 says, But if ye be led by the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, that are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lavishness, adultery, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, and envying, murders, drunkenness, revilings, and such things of like, which there should be before, and have also told you in time past, that which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Such there's no law. So you could do all these bad things and be a sinner, or you could do these things of God and show everybody how great God is. Well, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching, If you have any questions, you can let me know. I'm going to put a couple links on the screen here. The bottom right is going to be the 1 Samuel Bible study. The top left is going to be the Genesis Bible study. And the bottom left is going to be a video YouTube things you're going to like. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe, click that bell, tell your friends about it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have yourself a great day.